Thank you for meeting with us again, Dr. Hartman.
It's my pleasure, gentlemen. I hope the information I provided thus far has been of some small use.
It's been invaluable, Doctor. Really, we have a much clearer picture of this event, thanks to your accounts.
Well, I do consider myself a keen observer.
We did have one question, though. You mentioned in an earlier conversation that your patients displayed, and I'm paraphrasing here, unnatural abilities that you in fact encouraged during their time in your lodge. It'd be very helpful if you could fill us in on the details there.
Of course. Like yourselves, I work to understand and even bend the rules of our earthly paradigm. My patient's well-being was paramount, of course, but I would hardly be a man of science if I did not reach out at the underlying truth. As I stated in my written proposal, I believe working alongside your organization could be greatly beneficial to both parties. Sharing notes, as they say.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all we need to hear. Remy?
Dr. Emil Hartman, you have been found in breach of Codes 4, 8, and 74 of the Federal Bureau of Control Criminal Offense System.
What? You can't do this? I am a well-connected man. You're making a dire mistake, my friend.
You will be detained until further notice, and all personal property will be confiscated, including the Cauldron Lake Lodge.
That's preposterous. You can't just seize my property. I'm a United States citizen. I have rights. That lodge is my life's work. I'm offering you years of research.
Get him out of here.
You're making a mistake. You have to listen to me. You have to listen.
Forgotten again. I had a plan. I know it. I've forgotten. He's coming. I've got to get out of here. Dive deep.
Whatever is going on with Wake, he clearly needs some help.
The story needed many beginnings, many springs, streams that turned into a river, a flood, and then an ocean. This was one. Wake used the materials he had, the connections he had, the people, the places. Wake put them in to make it true. His wife, the psychiatrist, his city. These connections, like magnets, move things. Alice was a conduit. She'd been in the dark place. The thing that had been Hartman sensed her near, sensed Wake through her. Went berserk, broke loose. Wake made sure Alice was already gone by then. Safe. The more springs, the more the story became real. The more people believed. Cause and effect. It was extremely delicate and hard work. It had to go through the path of least resistance where success was most likely. Where there was a connection already. Wake felt the pressure grow in his head. Going mad. Wake had to escape. Right. His escape. He was already out. He wanted to make it true. Wake needed a hero. A hero needed a crisis. For the part in the story about the government agency, Wake needed something special, something to convey an alien force mimicking human intelligence. Something that can't be translated. Translated. Wake channeled Burroughs and Bowie. He cut up sentences and words. Orange peel. You are home. Insane. He put them in a shoebox. He pulled out the words. Wake created a Dadaist poem. He'd try anything once. Or had he tried this before? To escape, right? His escape. Wake needed a hero. A hero needed a crisis. For the part in the story about the government agency, Wake needed something special, something to convey an alien force mimicking. Human intelligence.
Another replica. Like the one they made for Ordinary. I wonder what happened here.
This is the director. I need backup at my location.
Let's do this!
After reaching out to the bureau, Alice Wake was brought into the eldest house for an interview. In 2017, she filed for full transcript. The interview conducted by Agent Shaw and MC revealed that Miss Wake has had recurring nightly visitation from her missing ex-husband in New York apartment. Mr. Wake appears out of nowhere and rushes at her down the corridor. According to her impression, he appears crazy and horrified, clearly coming at her with violent intent. Miss Wake believes that he is haunting her, insisting he is not Alan, but a freaking monster in his body. Miss Wake has not been sleeping out of fear of these visits. Her attempts to keep the lights on through the night result in one of an always light bulb breaking every night, possibly indicating the involvement of the darkness. Further investigation required. Propose installing monitoring equipment in the apartment. Copies of the plot request from L5014 have been sent to Miss Kirkland and administration for approval.
These are the notes of Dr. Emil Hartman. I am continuing my work alone again since certain parties were too blind to recognize a golden opportunity. Despite my generous offers, the conversations came to naught. Some people simply do not value collaboration as I do. Though I believe now that it was for the best. The sort of bold, pioneering work that I am undertaking cannot thrive under the shackles of bureaucracy and regulation. I have a history of seeking such partnerships. There was a time when I had hoped Alan Wake and I could collaborate. Together we could have produced art such that the world has never seen. But Wake was stubborn, egotistical. Writers usually are. Disappointing nonetheless. But now, like Tom before him, Wake has disappeared into Cauldron Lake. And this is where my work turns hypothetical. Since he was lost to the lake, Thomas Zane has been observed by various townspeople. This indicates to me that the individuals within the lake are not entirely gone. I anticipate Wake will similarly return one day. While I may harbor some resentment for the man, his raw talent and determination are undeniable. From this, I have concluded that the lake and the dark place within it are not as removed from this world as I previously thought. Given my acute awareness of what awaits within, my meticulous preparations, and my considerable education, I believe myself much more prepared than either Tom or Wake. I should be able to cross into that dark realm with the chance to return as they have. All that remains is the dive itself. It frightens me, I admit, but such is the burden of the truth seeker. I will take my plunge into the dark tomorrow. It is time for a breakthrough. Until I return. Emil Hartman. I am continuing my...
Bright Falls. An unconfirmed threshold manifestation occurred at Cauldron Lake. The citizens of Bright Falls had gathered in the town's southwestern fields for the annual festival known as Deer Fest. Eyewitnesses all claimed the day had been sunny, confirmed by reviews of the area's weather report. But then, with no warning, a thunderstorm appeared in the direction of the Anderson farm, and a tornado arose from the Cauldron Lake. The torrential rain that followed caused a flash flood. It was as if the day had turned to night. Testimony from Frank Breaker, the sheriff of Bright Falls, formerly a bureau agent. The sheriff's father was an agent, okay. Managed to guide the crowd to safety. As the festival grounds were destroyed by the flood, the festival was cancelled, ending one day early. Lack of official bureau presence on the scene makes this event difficult to report as a confirmed AWE, though the similarity to other known events in the Bright Falls area lend credence to the account of the townspeople.
Hartman won't be a problem anymore, Langston. But investigations need someone to run it. Interested?
I've seen what happens to sector heads, ma'am. No, thank you. Ma'am, I'm getting something on my terminal here, an AWE alert from Bright Falls, Washington. But it might be a glitch. The date's all wrong, a couple of years in the future. And we're in lockdown, there shouldn't be any incoming signals.
Maybe it was active before we went into lockdown? Are there agents on site?
Let me check. Agent Estevez is the field agent in charge of monitoring the site, so she should be there to let us know if the situation has been through any major changes recently.
Things set in motion. If the alarm's true, then so is the reason for the alarm. The effect must follow the cause. It's happening again. A return. You have been warned.
This must be where they studied Hartman. Kinda looks like Dylan's cell. I wonder if they treated him as badly.
Ashtray and cigarettes. What to know? Yes, we finished. Bright Falls. On the day of the flooding, the rock band all called the Voscout was rehearsing in the field outside the Anderson farm. The homestead of band member Odin and Tor Anderson both admitted to being in a heavy state of inebriation at the time having spent days drinking their home-brewed moonshine while celebrating Deerfest. After the townspeople were evacuated from the flooded field, the Sheriff Breaker was asked by Freya Anderson, daughter of Thor Anderson, to check on her father and uncle. Breaker drove to the Anderson farm and found the band members alive but in need of medical aid. Thor Anderson had been struck by lightning, and Odin Anderson had cut out his own right eye, a possible reference to Norse deities. They claimed they had fought and valiantly defeated a dark army of the Scratching Hag rising from Cauldron Lake. While impossible to verify, these events are relevant to the occurring AWE at Bright Falls and Cauldron Lake. Odin and Thor Anderson have been listed as persons of interest. The America Overnight Program. The America Overnight Program has operated successfully for over 20 years, originally designed to assist in providing disinformation to the naturally skeptical population of America. It has additionally led to the discovery of numerous AWEs and altered materials by allowing civilians to call in and report their experiences with the paranatural. In fact, America Overnight alerted the Bureau of in its 30 years of operation alone. In this report, the investigation sector have catalogued and categorized each episode of America Overnight that has resulted in a successful Bureau investigation in order to help AWE occurrence analysis. Nightspring has also been catalogued for a separate report. Okay. Official finding reports. Dr. Yoshimi Tokui. Dr. Yoshimi Tokui, a Japanese citizen residing in Tokyo, has produced a series of guided imagery experience audio recordings that have gained notable popularity around the globe. Due to his unusually swift rise in fame, along with reports of vivid accompanying the use of his tapes, investigation sector staff were asked to look to Dr. Tokui's background. We found no past incident with an altered occurrence, nor any evidence of involvement with an altered organization. However, the agents that attended the sign-in event reported what, when hearing Dr. Tokui speak, we recommend that the research team obtain an audio recording of Dr. Tokui's voice and perform any and all relevant analysis. Based on the finding, the investigation sector will determine next steps regarding Dr. Tokui as well as his eligibility for the Prime Candidate Program. Dr. Tokui. A photograph of Ellen Wake captured by Alice Wake during an event in her home. Alice Wake, former wife of Alan Wake, has recently been visited at night by her ex-husband or entity resembling him. Being a professional photographer, Miss Wake positioned cameras with motion sensors around the corridor he appears in and managed to capture an image of Mr. Wake on film. During an interview with Miss Wake, she mentioned that her favorite camera was lost in 2010 during AWE 35. No match has been found among the confiscated evidence from AWE 35. It has been filed as a potential altered item, and research staff stationed at Bright Falls are being contacted to check if they have any knowledge of such item. What the heck? scientist, term for what used to be his director, now transformed into a stranger, an alien that only resembled the directors in form. He drops his all-important clipboard as he stumbles through the closing portal, but the horrible entity is already rushing through it. In a flow of insanity and chaos, the scientist becomes caught in it, and the entity devours him, screaming as it enters our world. The director lifts his pistol to his head. His hand is steady, sure in his finality. Also, I thought. Camera face to black. A gunshot is heard. Narrator. And so, our hunger for control, our obsession for domination and power, the hubris at play in this children's puppet show we're starring, can only lead to our fall from control, to submit to those who really hold the strings and control us in Night Spring. This is insane. We're done, for real, we're done. Let's see if there are anything we haven't watched yet. Oh, darling.
The exact process of how an altered item is born eludes us. We find them in the aftermath of altered world events. They take the form of everyday objects, ever present in our lives, constantly evoked in the thoughts of millions of people, now infused with unpredictable energies. They're altered. The superstitious would call them cursed. Now, are altered items sentient? Not quite. They're often fixated, programmed almost to cause certain events to happen over and over again. While generally less potent than objects of power, they are not able to be controlled. Left unchecked, they can be highly dangerous. To study altered items, we contain them in Panopticon. It's done. It's just one large-scale HRA. It's an easy choice, no choice. It's there now. Protecting the most important thing from what's coming. I'll be there inside, locked in, ready to be blown away. Ready for the journey. To be blown, flying into the model. Ready to see. To understand.
Squad Captain Lopez, reporting on Expedition 17B. At the formation now, visually no distinction from the previous visit. The link detectors are still standing. One arch has a light flashing, so we're gonna give the area a once over. Then we'll head back. Lopez out.
They're all dead. Please. Things kill them all.
Leave your inside light.
There are so many.
You want to
You're listening. Get out! No!
Stepping to the FBC, there's lots to do, there's lots to be, but you don't dash, and don't scream much. Let's join the Thresher Kids. Let's join the Thresher Kids.
TV! Let's watch Jockeys in Space! It's not safe. But Star Captain Eagle! Can I poke it with a stick? Okay. Bureau rule number 74. Always be suspicious of things that weren't there before. What? Looks safe to me. Dockers in space! Wait! It's not even plugged in!
Use the ID cards to access the elevator. The warehouse.
That's a lot of maps.
No.
Worked. Now I just have to get on a rickety elevator that goes who knows how. Dust. Still, this lab's way tinier than any of Darling's. Why would they need such a heavy door down here? This looks like the nail, only mini. A document. Is that... some kind of code. I can't read a word of it. I should take this back to Emily and tell her I got into Ash's secret lab.
To Dr. Theodore. Holy shit, this is from Northmore. As director of the Federal Bureau of Control and chosen representative, liaison, benefactor of the greater authority of the board, I demand your immediate withdrawal from the Foundation. Prior memos issued boldly to Foundation staff called for swift resignment of all personnel to the upper levels of the House. All staff complied except you. This demonstrates a lack of respect for my office and the board itself. This is their house and we are their guests. We should conduct ourselves accordingly. Normally, such insubordination would be ground for dismissal. But out of respect of your late father, consider this instead my final warning. The board, Director Ash chose me as successor to the office, and no amount of petulance will change that. Indeed, your actions seem to suggest you know better than myself, and by extension better than the board. Permit me to assure you that this is not possible. Sincerely, Director Broderick Northmore. Stand here. Let's take this to Emily and see.
I found Ash's secret lab.
Excellent. Please tell me everything. Spare no details.
Well, there was another cave. The walls were covered in paintings of eyeballs. The research seemed dedicated to studying a kinda smaller version of the nail. It looked like the same material as the one up here, but just a different shape.
Well, are you sure you didn't see any functioning prototypes? Or at least some schematics? I mean, Dr. Ash was a very accomplished engineer.
None. Sorry. I did find this handwritten note.
Wow. Ash had terrible handwriting. Never meet your heroes, right? That looks like a transcribed conversation between Ash and someone named F. Ooh. Oh, this is juicy. This'll take me days to parse out. Maybe weeks.
Have you ever thought about taking a vacation, Emily?
Are you kidding? This is my vacation, Jesse. The nail is almost repaired. You really do have a knack for this kind of work.
What do you know about Director Northmore?
Well, he was Director Trench's predecessor, and Northmore's famous for being the first board-appointed director. See, before we found the oldest house, directors were picked by committees of old men in suits, drinking cognac and smoking cigars or whatever. You know, standard, uninteresting methods.
I think the word you're looking for is bureaucratic.
Or antiquated. Regardless, Northmore was eventually forced to... Well, we don't need to go into that. Strangely, the only 2 board-appointed directors left the position under unusual circumstances. If the board appointed...
Don't worry, Evan. I'm gonna keep...
Northmore was director before me. I never wanted his job. I never wanted power. I purposefully avoided it. Didn't trust it. Didn't want to rely on it. Northmore was all about power. A man like an explosion, hungry for authority, for order, for more. Until it was too much. I had to find a solution in the end. Contain the situation. Northmore never liked me, but he went along with it, to his credit. He didn't really have a choice. I suppose at the end of the day, a director's most basic duty is to keep the lights on. Here's to you, Northmore. There were no prime candidates waiting in the wings, but I was there. Had been the whole time, keeping my head down, working my ass off. I had nothing to lose. I picked up the gun almost on a dare.
The NSC was designed by order of Deputy Chief Trench shortly before he became director. The container provides a safe method of extracting of excess energy output while acting as a humane way to house him. The coolant pumps keep the container and its from overheating while the energy is siphoned. The energy is then conducted to the converters, where it's rendered into through the use of turbine. The electricity produced powered is self-sufficient. After NSC disappearance by some unknown manifestation power, the contract was changed. So the first NSC. NSA. The NSC. NSC O2. Northwell sarcophagus container. What the fuck? NSC was designed by order of Deputy Chief Trench shortly before he became director. The container provides a safe method of extracting of Northmore's excess energy output, while acting as a humane way to house him. No way. Northmore is inside. What the heck? Wow. Yeah, deserved. Wait, so let me not plus 2.
nothing else. And here we stand, the sweet arresting duality. And I come to, it's rising all over me. Will I awake? Will I get a ride with you in this race of two? We're an endless stream of choices with the softest murmur of voices. Without names we're fantasizing, dancing like flames, mesmerizing. A darkness quiet playing satiric harmonies. Making waves and diving under, lightning to the sound of thunder. A darkness quiet singing such haunting
go. Doesn't that feel better?
What? I keep feeling
Reminder, all employees are required to report their hours at the end of each month. The Federal Bureau of Control maintains that time is not subjective, and hours passed on alternative planes cannot be claimed. Astral dives do not accumulate overtime compensation. Thank you for your attention.
Damn.
This certainly feels familiar.
Man, people used to change. Oh, really? What's this?
Agent Fisher, day 6 inside.
2 down, 1 to go. And that's 3. That should take care of any bad karma, or whatever. But how did that first letter get in here? I wonder if I could track it to the source. I guess I should just follow the tube.
Okay. This piece is called Me and You. It's summer in New York City. A boy with a wolf's head eats some ice cream. The ice cream melts. The wolf head howls. We howl together, me and you. The mayor stares at a bicycle. A little girl watches him watch the bike, watch him watch the bike, and on and on and on, like the ticking of 1,000 clocks. We listen to the ticking together, me and you. A traffic light decides it doesn't want to be a traffic light anymore. People call it names, and it's hurt. I take it to see a movie. We have a good time, me and you. People think we're weird, but we ignore them. We're friends now, connected by a moment. We'll always share this story, even if people don't understand it. You and me and you.
So you're the one sending out spam mail. That takes care of that. No more superstitious blackmail.